now with their thoughts on all of it. Rich Lowry from the National Review and Trump economic advisor Steve Moore. Good to see you guys. I'll start with you, Steve.
Hi, Trish.
All right, he promised to repeal and replace. How's he going to do it?
Well, first of all, the Republicans better do it. I mean, this was one of the primary promises that Donald Trump and congressional Republicans made to the voters, that they would get rid of this unpopular law. And I happen to think, by the way, the week before the election, when all the news came out about the escalating premiums, was the sort of the nail in the coffin for that law. Yeah. So, look, you replace it. First of all, you do have to keep you have to make sure you're insuring everybody that has insurance now. We don't want to kick people off the insurance rolls, but you get rid of the mandates, which have made insurance really expensive, and then what you do is you increase competition. You allow people to buy all sorts of different plans, buy across state lines, buy MSA plans or high deductible plans or whatever they want to buy. And, choices is what brings down cost.
Absolutely, well said. Rich, it feels like every business owner, every small business owner, medium business owner I talk to, keeps citing Obamacare as one of the stagnants for growth right now, that it's suffocating them. They're spending so much more in this, and they say their employees, they don't like it.
Yeah, no, the promise was it was going to reduce health care premiums, and it didn't. It did the opposite. And Steve's right. This is a really important priority for the Trump White House and Congress to deliver on. And it's one of these issues where the White House and Congress will be pretty well aligned on the need to repeal this thing. And Republicans have already passed a reconciliation bill that repealed the heart of it. I think we'll see that revived, that approach. Reconciliation bill, you only need 50 votes in the Senate, so it makes it easier to knock out a lot of the tax and spending. But then you have some of the regulations left over. That's tougher to do. You need 60 votes to actually replace it. So I think the heart of the law will be torn out in very short order, but then it'll be a messy process from there, and it'll drag on for a while.
The Democrats aren't going to want to do it, but the reality is when you've got people facing increases of 120% in states like Arizona, you know what? Democrats should want to replace this. I mean, Steve, realistically, if you want to see people insured, you should be trying to do so with the best possible insurance at the cheapest possible rate.
Well, that's for sure, because what people are getting under Obamacare is less insurance coverage through higher deductibles and more expensive health insurance because of the, it'd be one thing if the deductibles were going down and the premiums were going up, but both are going up at the same time. I want to make one other quick point. One of the things that employers are so upset about is the 50-worker rule and the 30-hour week rule. We've talked about this a lot.
Right, and you know what it causes them to do?
We got to get rid of those.
They're saying, all right, I'm capping it at 49, or I'm not giving people
You got it. We call them 49ers.
More hours.
Yep.
Because it's too costly, and that acts as a hindrance on the overall economy, too. I mean,
and the question is whether we could actually get rid of that through, through an executive action. I think probably we could. We have to look at the exact language of the bill, whether that's statutorily in the bill. But he could suspend that, and then you could have all these 49er companies go out and hire 55, 58, 60 workers.
Rich, what do you think of that idea? Could he suspend it? Could he use an executive order here? And let's not forget, he came out with that big YouTube video. He didn't mention anything about repealing Obamacare. He didn't mention anything about the wall. And I think it may have been because these are politically harder things to do, so they'll take more time?
Yeah, they're not things you're going to do on day one, but the selection of Tom Price for HHS is a major signal that he's very serious about repealing this law. Tom Price has thought about this very seriously, and just as importantly, has the relationships with Congress to shepherd this thing through. So, again, it's going to be very complicated. Some of it can be undone. The regulations can be undone administratively. Other parts of the regulation are written into law. But, again, they will tear out as much of it as they can, as quickly as they can, and then it's going to be complicated from there.
Well, it'll be interesting to watch all of it.
By the way, isn't it wonderful, Trish, that we actually have a doctor who's going to head up the HHS? I mean, I think it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and he's been working on this for years, right? He's come up with a new plan since 2009. He keeps putting it out there. So he's the guy who understands it. So we'll be watching very closely. Rich and Steve, thank you so much.